Reggae interviews. Word sound power.
This is DJ 745 here with a living legend. He has worn many musical hats throughout his life and he continues to do so in 2023. We know him as being a singer, a songwriter, an arranger, a producer and also a formidable bass player. Many classical recordings that we have all grown to love have a connection with Mr. Leroy Sibbles, the king of Reggae Basslines. Welcome to Reggae Interviews.
Aye. Yes, I. Yeah, man, greetings to the world, man, and everyone who listen to my brethren program. Enough respect.
Respect.
Yes.
I feel like today is almost like an honor to be sitting down here talking to you because your contribution is immense. The legacy of Studio One Records would not be where it is, in my opinion, had it not been for some of the works that you did, both as an artist and also a bass player and an arranger.
Yeah, as a musician, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I give thanks to the Almighty for giving me that, you know, impetus that I could do all this because it's a great work, you know, because I even, you know, stressing on the bass side of the thing, bass playing, you know, and arrangement, because it's not just playing bass, you know. Most of those horn sections that you heard there are my creation too. Yeah. Oh yes, you know, them sweet melodic horn sections is coming from the Heptones, Leroy Heptones Sibbles. But yes, you know.
Well, I think that one of the reasons why we want to do some of these reasonings is I think it's important to be able to document individual musicians, artists' contributions, and also helping to preserve Jamaican musical history.
Yes, I. And you know, I have to mention like Phil Kalinda, you know, as a drummer. He used to play with us. He was my favorite drummer, you know. Even though I played with Arsmouth Wallace, yes. He's the guy who was on that movie called Rockers. You know that, right? Exactly. You know, if I recall some of these, please. Vin Gordon was on trombone. You know, Edley Bennett on trumpet, and on saxophone. I'm sorry, and the guitarist. You know, God, I can't remember his name right away, but we had on keyboards was Robbie Lynn, you know, and that's how it is, you know. I remember the other guys, I bring them in later on as we go along, you know.
Now, you're celebrating 58 years in the music industry. 58 years is not enough years. Nothing's have happened along the way, but you're here at the moment and you have your own recording studio, Bright Beam Music. Tell us a little bit about that, because we're interested to learn not just about the past but the future as well.
Oh yes, well we have created some new songs, you know. Right now I'm producing Young Garvey, you know, and I'm introducing him to the world, and all of these recordings are done here. I just did Leroy Sibbles and Marcia Griffiths, you know, which I'm really pleased about.
This is the stylistics.
Exactly, right, okay. You know. Yeah, because that's how she make me feel, you know. I feel like a sister from a longer time, you know what I mean? Oh, yes. And it's a pleasure to do a combination with Marcia. Something that we should have done a long time ago, but them say it's never too late.
Yes.
Yeah, to do what you're doing, you know, yeah. So even today we have Glenn Washington supposed to be coming in to voice on a track that we have here,
right?
A Young Garvey track called Cool Natty.
Okay.
You know, yeah, man.
The Marcia Griffiths collaboration. This was the first time I believe that you've both voiced a song together in all these years.
Oh yes. I actually played bass, you know, on some of her songs. One of her favorite songs that I like that I played on was a song she did called Play Me. You know, great bass line on that song. You know? Oh yeah, so that's how it is.
Now, Studio One, it's Jamaica's most renowned record label and recording studios. People describe it often as the Motown of Jamaica, almost like a university of reggae. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. I'm agreeing with those descriptions, you know. Yeah, because I learned a lot when I went to Studio One, you know. With all the music I had in me, I had to have it straightened out and guided. And I got a lot of guidance from people like Jackie Mitu, who was one of the greatest keyboard player I've ever met in my life. He was very young too back then, and very talented as I was, and he's the one who introduced me to playing the bass. He's the first musician that I saw play that keyboard, a piano with his left hand, and his right hand was playing an organ, playing the melody, the banging on the piano, because he, like I said, he introduced me to play bass, because he got famous on one of our songs, on our rhythms, called Fatty Fatty. Yes, he did a thing called Ram Jam, and it went, like today would say viral. It took off, and made his name.
Yes.
So he started to do albums with his name up front. He was an artist now and not just a musician. So he wanted a trio, wanted to form a trio to do a gig at the Tit for Tat Club, and he called me because he couldn't find a drummer. And this is all God's work, because drummers, I couldn't find a bass man, I'm sorry. And normally a lot of musicians pass through Studio One, but at that time he couldn't find one. So he turned to me and said, "Leroy, I want you to do this." Which, my reply was, "Me play bass? I've never even touched a bass guitar before." He said, "No, you can do it. You have it in you, man. You can do it, Lee." And he took me in the studio and set up his organ and his piano. The piano was there, he just pulled the organ, because an organ were always on wheels, because it's a very heavy machine. It is, and they pull them close together. And a lot of people who doesn't know an organ, it has a foot pedal for bass playing. And that guy would be playing the three parts.
Wow.
Banging on the keyboard and the piano, playing the melody, and using his foot and playing the bass of the songs. Can you imagine? That's splitting your mentality right now in three parts.
Yeah.
Yes. So I already established him as, to me, as one of the greatest keyboard players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that's how I was introduced to his bass line. And so I took the bass. It was a Fender Jazz. First time I ever took it in my hand, and we started practice the lines of each songs, and by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we were in the Tit for Tat Club, killing it.
Wow.
And for many weeks after that, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you took your initial steps into 13 Brentford Road as part of the Heptones, alongside the late Barry Llewellyn and Earl Morgan. That was around about, 1965, 66? Yeah. The auditions that took place, I believe, on a Sunday morning, they said. Share some memories of those Sunday morning auditions. What do you recall now, today?
Yeah, well, we practiced after we decided we're going to form this Heptones group. I had them practicing for about 3 months straight, almost every evening, because I took it serious. I felt this, it was in me, and I was writing in the daytime. And when they came in at night, I would be introducing them to at least 2 songs per yes. Wow. Because actually I left electrical welding. My mom took me, when I left school, took me straight into this welding facility that we were doing grills and gates and all of that. And I got, there was a musical part in there too, because the guy who was throwing the sledge, I was throwing the sledgehammer, back at the forge section of the place, where they were bending and forming what you call that, patterns.
Right.
You know, for grills and gates. Yeah, and I would be throwing the sledge like wham, and he would be shaping with a small hammer, do shaping, and we were playing Liar Bingy right then, man. Right. Wham, pipping, wham, pip, and he was very musical too. He knew what he was doing, you know. So that was the greatest part of being at that place, you know, when he called me to assist on doing this. Oh yes, man, we played music.
So you were playing music before Studio One, then, really?
Of course. While learning, and in about 3-4 months, I was so advanced in there that they gave me my own work to do. My own jobs, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. I can remember one of the last thing I did was with Blueprint, a special pair of gates. It was oval up to the bottom was horizontal, you know, because the bottom couldn't be round, but it was oval until that part, you know, and it was very technical. It came with Blueprint, and they gave that job to me, so they knew that I was capable.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I left that, like the first money I got, I threw a thing called a partner, which is what do you call that now? To explain this is like we a pool, money put in a pool in, yes, and every week that pool would go to each individual and down the line, you know, until it ended, till everyone who was involved would got their share, you know. My first year I bought a guitar, an acoustic guitar. My mom was upset to the max.
Really?
Oh yes, because she said, "Will you buy a guitar? You can't play a guitar," because I really couldn't play at that time. But I did buy my guitar anyhow, you know. Yeah, and I went round to a Rasta. She said, "Oh, you want shoes? You want clothes? You want this? Or you go buy a guitar? You know, and you can't play a guitar." I said, "It's okay, mom. It's all right."
What sort of age were you? Can you remember when you bought that first guitar?
It was maybe about 17 or 16 plus, somewhere in there. You know, God just left senior school early at 16, something like that. So I was doing arc welding during that time. So yeah, you know, and just all right. Oh, you better eat a guitar this evening, because I gain nothing to eat. Well, you know, I talk still, because we feed still. My mom is the same sign as me, you know. She's an Aquarian too. She's a February born person, you know. So she's really cool. Okay. Really nice, you know. So she was just upset at that time, and you know, she had to say what she had to say. And after a while, she realized, oh, that move was the greatest move I made. Yeah. Oh yeah. Took my guitar around to the Rasta man who he made flutes out of bamboo flutes with perfect pitch. So I knew I was going to the right individual, and he played his guitar too. So I went to him, and that's where I learned my first set of chords and stuff, and I practiced that. And all the people, he had more students. And I surpassed them in the first week. Wow. Because I was hungry for this. Now play with it.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It started with Do Re Mi. Because that's the beginning of learning, yes.
Yes.
Rudiments, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I passed Do Re Mi and started learning chords when them still up on Do Re Mi.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I Do Re them because, me gone. You know, a real thing. Oh, yeah. And that's how all of that started. So we up to the point of we did Fatty Fatty.
That was a song that was your first big hit single, and it was banned as well by the radio.
2 weeks on the radio, and they stopped it. Said it was suggestive, you know. Yeah, but during that 2 weeks, Coxson was selling those 45 was coming off the press like crazy, you know, and into all the jukeboxes that were in the city. And at that time, jukeboxes were the main source of music,
yes,
in Jamaica back then.
Yes.
You know, no one had no portable radios and all of them things on the railway. You know, that wasn't even in yet. You know, the radio that we had was online. It was connected it was, you know, we didn't have no wireless.
Wireless, no.
You know, that's how primitive the time was.
Technology was yes.
Back then.
Yes.
You know, yeah, man. So it was called a rediffusion. You know, so when we had a rediffusion, if you had some wire and thing and a speaker, you could attach to next door. All you needed was a speaker.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And it's one channel, so you don't have to worry about that. You know. Yeah. So all of that. So but like I said, jukeboxes were running. You know, so I heard Fatty on jukeboxes like every corner I turned, because a jukebox was in every bar, and a bar was on almost every street corner in the city.
Yes.
You know, yeah, we have the most churches and bars in Jamaica and in the city here.
Yes.
In Kingston, even today.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Jackie Me Too did his instrumental, Fulham. What's it called? Ram Jam. And it tore up the airways, because that could play, you know?
Yes.
And a new star was born. So we moved on to playing with Jackie at the Tit for Tat Club, and I was established, you know, as a one who understood the bass, you know, system right there.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the next time I took the bass up was right after that. Some people from England came to Jamaica and wanted to establish a new cigarette. It was called, I think Carreras were the people who were involved with that too, with those people in England. And it was called the Embassy King. The cigarette was called.
Okay.
Yeah, so they dressed us up in a red and white outfit, red top and white pants. Ken Boothe was the head of that. They got him to sing. So it was Ken Boothe and the Swinging Kings. You know, so we're in a band right now. You know, this band, that's when I met Phil Kalinda, Rick Abaka, Rick Frater. I was trying to remember his name. See, it's back to me right now. He was guitarist. Yes. You know, he used to play with Bob Marley one time too. You know, and so it was me, Rick Frater, Robbie Lynn, and Phil Kalinda. Yeah. And we did that for about a month or two, you know, and that died. But right then, we got into Studio One. You know, my first recording I did with Jackie Me Too, I think, was Baby Why.
The Cables.
Yes.
Okay.
That bass line, I can never forget it. It was the hardest. It was a continuous bass line. Boom, get your go, ching, get your go, ching. Oh God, I tell you. And then just start playing bass, and I was nervous as hell, because that was my first bass recording. Not really. I'm lying. With the Swinging Kings, we did 2 songs for promotional purposes. One was he sang something about the Swinging Kings as a commercial for the cigarette thing.
Embassy.
Yeah, and then the other side of that record was released, and Without Love You Just Can't Go On.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
When I was a boy, you know, good.
So they were actually they were the first recordings that you played bass on.
The very first record. That was the first recording I played on.
Okay. Not the Cables, Baby Why.
No. After that, we Jackie Me Too had me in there doing, you know, real studio record for Studio One. That was the first recording for Studio One.
Yes.
The Cables.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that bass line was given to me by Jackie Me Too. Also, and then the flip side was my original bass line. That's why I know say Leroy Sibbles bass line was the wickedest bass line, because of my bass line. And for the first recording of my bass line, I mash up the world up to today. Mash up Jamaica, every singer there on it. Down by the river.
Freddie McGregor.
Yeah, right. I know. Yes. And Freddie McGregor, when tune him,
See It In You.
See It. Well, I mean, I tell you, you're the right person to do an interview with me, you know, because you know what you're doing, you know what you're saying, you know the works. You say fire, lock liquor, we're good. Okay, all right. So So Seating You, big tune up to today.
Yes.
That bass line is over. How long I'm in the business?
You said 58 years.
Right. So that bass line is about at least 56 years. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's still a hit, right? Same way. Yeah, man. Originally we played for the Cables. About the flip side of the Cables. It was the first song I said it was Baby Why and What Kind of World. That was the flip side. Yes. What kind of world? Oh yes.
During your time at Studio One, the in-house band went through quite a few different evolutions. So when you first were there as a singer, with all the hits, Fatty Fatty, Party Time, Pretty Looks, that was the
Jackie Me Too. And we were playing bass. Bassman was we had two bassmen playing there. You know, one I don't remember his name from Canada, but a Canadian guy, tall. But I remember on the Heptones on top, it was Boris Gardner.
Right. Okay.
Who played on the Heptones on Top album.
Okay.
You know, and I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but he played a lot of these songs. He played Fatty Fatty, the Canadian bassman.
Brian Atkinson?
There you go, I think. That's Brian,
yes.
And he played on a song too for Heptones that I really... He played on a lot of Heptones songs. He played on a lot... I think Brian played on a lot when Jackie was there.
Yes.
You know?
So this was the Soul Vendors.
Yeah, before I was playing too. All this was happening before I started playing bass.
Yes.
Yeah. He played on a song called When You Hold Me Girl, Love Me Girl. Remember title. Yeah. Yeah, man, you know. So and he played a lot of. He played on some of the Marcias and Babandies and some of those stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, man. While Jackie was there, he was a keyboard, the bass player.
Yes.
Back then,
yes.
Yeah, but when all them left, you know, I think when Jackie left, I guess all those people left too. Yeah, and then me and these guys now, that I call them names, you know, before we started doing this, and then Leroy Sibbles started put out the real rude boy hits.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So during all this time, you were working within the Heptones group as singer, and you know your close-knit harmonies. There's something.
Some harmonies for other people too. Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then you're transitioning.
Some great harmonies like on I'm Going Home for Babandi. And I play bass on that song too. You know. But can you hear those harmonies on that? Wow. Yeah, my youth was playing all these songs last night. You know, like how you are so familiar with these songs, you should have been listening. If I had known, I'd have sent you an invite. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, man, for real. But
what would you say it was Coxson's role within all of these great productions and the songs that we're talking of?
Coxson's role in this was, at the end of the day, he would come in and take a drink and review the songs, name them, you know, listen to, and do what he wants to put out, or, you know, or what he wants to park.
Okay.
You know?
So he was looking at it more from the business side, which I think is important, rather than the creativity.
But that's what Coxson was. Coxson was not the producer. He was the executive producer. He was the one with the money and the studio. We were the producers. We produce the songs. Coxson was never there when we were doing recordings. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So we were the true producers. Jackie Me Too and myself. Because I became the Jackie Me Too after he left.
Emigrated to
yes,
Canada.
exactly.
Right.
And I found myself on Sundays doing auditioning. I auditioned Burning Spear. I remember that Sunday he came there. He and another tall guy, you know. And those two were the Burning Spears. Boy, I wish I had your head. I would have written my book long time ago. Your memory, you know? You have the memory that I need for my book. I'm telling you.
I think when you love the music so much, you want to dig deeper, you want to explore.
You should. You know, most people take it for granted. Jamaicans too, you know, which is not so nice. You know, yeah, we just listen and dance and things. We don't get to, we don't dig deep to find out who did what, or they're not even interested in that, you know, which is not nice. Europe, Japan, those people, they dig deep.
They dig and they study.
Yes, man.
Yes.
You know, I'm glad that someone is doing that too. You know, it's our job and it's our business, our work, it's our gift. But I guess when you have something, you know, you take it for granted because it's yours. You know, other people see the worth and the value.
Of course. I mean, I think for me, I think that the times that we're talking about was, you know, that what's classed as like the golden era, the rocksteady era in Jamaican music. Do you agree with that? What is rocksteady, the golden era?
Of course, because these are the songs, these are the Motown of reggae. You know that. You know, these are the songs that are historical. These are the songs that people go for. These are the songs that stands up from that time to this time and are still being played.
Timeless.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
The Motown of reggae music.
Let's talk a little bit more about these bass lines, because I'm really interested. You know, we've established some of the songs that you've played bass on. You mentioned Burning Spear, that you were one of the people that was actually there for the audition. Yeah. And you also played on the Door Peep album, right?
Yeah. The very first Jackie Me Too was in studio when we did the Burning Spear album, you know, and the very first song that the Door Peep song. I think, you know, they created that introduction. I think it came from somewhere else. I don't know. You know, they adapted it from somewhere else. But yeah, but I think that was so unique. You know, because I love strange and exciting sounds. You know, yeah. You know, and it's Prada. Prataya Pramaya Skaya Pai. It's the longest introduction ever here. Skaya and then Door Peep shall not enter. I'll tell you. This ya oh la la. Tiggy zing tiggy, tiggy zing tiggy, tiggy wing tiggy, reggae. Oh gosh. You know, say, now that I'm doing that, I just realize, at the first Satta Massagana, bassline style, and that was done before Satta, you know. Okay. Yes, it's the only difference is that it's a different chords structure, you know. It's off the beat. Because I know I don't create it off the beat, you know. Music on the whole was always on the beat, before the beat, you know. But nobody never start a bass line starting after the beat. Leroy Sibbles did that. World, remember that. Yeah, man. Tiggy zing, tiggy, tiggy. I don't want that to know. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, tiggy wing, tiggy, tiggy wing, tiggy. It's not the same thing. Pram pam sky, yeah. Gap jump yeah. Prakatap 1, keep go boom up, keep go jong 2. Keep wigging. You understand? Yeah. After the beat. Leroy do that.
That song was around about 1970 when the Abyssinians hired Studio One to play, because that was not a Studio One release, right? Clinch.
No. And Leroy Sibbles was throwing out such you know, manner of hits that people all over. I used to do some Christians used to come from me play songs for us to play, you know.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because of our style and thing. We used to throw some wicked, I don't remember the songs, or, you know, because it's been a long time, you know. But we used to do all Christian songs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, Moody's came and hired the studio too. Yeah. You know, and we did for Dennis Walks. Leroy Sibbles gave Dennis Walks his 2 major hit songs. After he left, after I'm gonna play for him again, in my one like a song they call thing, but it's not big like them 2 songs. He has a 3rd song that he did outside of me playing. It's 2 biggest songs. Yeah.
Those songs are The Drifter.
Drifter and the other one Heart now.
Don't Believe.
Yeah, anytime I do an interview, I call him. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you have the thing part, man. Yeah, man, Heart No Leap, man.
Yes.
2 wicked tune. Yeah, man.
You mentioned Harry Moody, Dennis Walks, The Drifter, Heart Don't Leap. Was it common for Coxson to hire out his studio to other producers, to other people?
What a weird thing. I didn't even know that he would do that, because he was a very selfish musician. I mean, individual. Very selfish. You know that Coxson, almost every song that Treasure Isle did, Coxson did a remake of it.
Yes.
You know that. That's how.
Like
That's how he feels about music.
Yes.
Yeah. Him no want hear right song and him have a copy of that. You know what I mean? Even those songs, you know that him put them out. Like Abyssinian songs. I don't know if he did put out Moody's own, but he put out on his label, on Coxson label.
Yes.
You know that.
Yes.
And that was wrong. But that's the kind of guy he is. That's what I'm sorry. That's the kind of guy. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, he put out Satta.
And the Declaration of
And Declaration of Rights. And Studio One label, which is not his songs. All them things that touch me, you know. Yeah, because the man them play, them peer to hire the studio.
Yes.
You know? And after the man them go away, you make sure you have a copy for yourself.
Well, I think those songs that you
personally, the music.
Those songs that you've just spoken of, the Satta, the Declaration of Rights, the Door Peep, three strong bass lines, and that's why you are the king of reggae bass lines. Let's talk about some of the other works that you've done, because I want the viewers to actually understand.
We made an instrumental song, right? Called I don't remember what it's called, you know, but it's an instrumental. Go dung 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 bung dung dung bing dung bing. Ka-ding ding ding boom, ka-dung boom boom, dung. The melody on that was Spra Bra ya ya ya, Bra ya ya, Bra ya ya. I think it was on one of Coxson's dub albums or something.
Yes.
You know the name of what they called it. I can't recall the name right now, but every bass line that Leroy Sibbles create, people redo back that track and make nothing tune. A lot of people is on that too. Even Sam Sanchez, Barry Salmon, lately too. Barry and Marcia is on that too.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, man. And why I established myself as king of the reggae bass line, a lot of people have played bass. You know? Play a lot of bass songs that is nice, but a Leroy Sibbles bass line
stick.
Yeah, people just flock it like bees to honey or hands to food. You understand?
Yeah. Talking of other bass players, which bass players did you look up to in those early days? Who inspired you to play musically?
Nobody inspired me to play none. But I admire other bass players and stuff. You know, I admire the satellite, the Scatterlight bass player who playing that
Lloyd.
Yes, Brevet. Yes, I think he was one of the greatest bassmen in the world. You know, but I'm the king of reggae bass lines. Without going around that one, but he is one of the greatest bass player. I'm not a bass player, you know. I'm the man who create the bass lines that bass players play. Yeah, because I go in and I take it up and I create music with it. But I'm not on a bandstand at night time with no bass in my hand. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So now this man now is playing a jazz bass, right? And a jazz bass has no frets and all that, you know. And him play some of the wickedest thing that is only a fret bass line. I think should be able to play these things. He might play a thing as a pum 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 standing bass, you know.
Yes.
Pum 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 pum. But it's when you lick him chalice and grab that bass instrument, them bad. And the baddest bass man, that. You know what I mean? And him create some great bass lines too. Yeah, man. him create two of the wickedest Studio One bass line. Right now. Where that you sing. A lot of people won't get no supper tonight. What a bass line, what a rhythm they go again.
Real rock.
Real rock. Yes. I play real rock, you know.
Yes, wow.
I play real rock. Yeah, man. Come, can we get it? Yes. Ram, can you tell me my youth? Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man, that's Zion, right? Yeah, man. I want to do wickedest Studio One that too. Real rock. Yeah, man.
Let's talk about Dennis Emmanuel Brown. No Man is an Island.
Yeah, man. He used to call me Pa. Same see me as a daddy figure, and I'm like. But then I'm created though, you know, it's a girl I used to have, you know. Yeah, Sarah Road and flag her and say, stay home. You're going to come my father. From that, my pa, she call and everybody start. And Barry Heptones pick it up from her and carry it around, and then people just pick up things, you know. That's why we have a thing named Up and Active, which is a positive talk. We need to carry that show too, you know.
So you played on the No Man is an Island album.
All of the album. Wow. And his Asmouth play all the tracks, you know. If you hear it, when them call him Asmouth, in mouth when them call him Asmouth, I think, you know. Me personally call him Asmouth because him style. Every tune the man plays out like him a trot. A trot. Him have one style. listen the album and listen every track. I hear the same thing. Yeah. It's not like Phil now. Phil is him change up his styles at all time, you know, to the song. You know? That's why I love playing with Phil. Kalinda. Oh yes. You know, now on that album, that is another Heptones on Top album, you know, in the sense of, sorry, when you put that album on, yes, man, yeah, man, you play every track, or you know, lift track, because there's no song there that you wanna jump, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Super album. Yeah. You know? Another album like that, man, is John Holt, Rob and Cheat, yo. You know? Yes.
Oh. Many great songs that we're talking about. There's one bass line that I have to talk to you about, though. It's the full-up bass line.
Yeah. But before I go to full-up, though, you know, I just look at this thing and see Ken Boothe. And there's a bass line that I did on that. I heard a girl recently on that bass line. Is it because I'm black? Come, kiju come, boom. Love that wicked style, you know. Yes. Yeah, and there's a Alton that I played for BP Records, and Too Late
to Turn Back.
Yes. That bass line is very unusual when Leroy touch that bass line. That's another one that I love. Because I love unusual things, you know? Yeah, man. And the bass line there, terrible, man. Yeah, man. Mother told me, she said, son, please beware. Yeah, man. Too late. Kikungup, cough. Kikungup. you know, different styling, you know. Yeah, you know. Yeah, man, very impressive, man. You know, it's this kind of thing. We were all right. There's a song that Ken Boothe did, and not even because I'm black. When I'll come back to that when I find that. Though. What we're talking about, you were saying about the Kochi?
Yes.
Oh, the Kochi happened on a day where I made 2 instrumental songs that day. The Kochi and one called In Cold Blood. No, this was a day that we didn't have much to do. We didn't have no vocal records, because that's what we usually do. Recording vocals. People come in and sing, and we create the rhythm around them. That day we didn't have that happening, and I said, instead of there and I laugh and chat, I could make some instrumental, you know. Yeah, and I came up with the idea right away. It hit me. I'm saying, you play this, as I usually do. You play this, you play this, you play that. You know what I mean? and grab it. And the bass line was already in me. Because from I hear the thing and get the idea, bass line come up, because it's a bass line. A man just come in front of me, I have my acoustic guitar, because I always had my acoustic guitar, you know, that accompanied my vision before I moved to the bass guitar. Yeah, because when somebody sing, it's my acoustic guitar used to track the chords, them, to work the chord, the progression out. You know, find his key and work the progression out. So if you listen the original full up, you know, you can hear it's all individual work. It's not like a regular song would play that the guys tracking it and there's a bang and rare. But may I have the keyboard player play. Bang 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 bang. Kajang, kajang, jang, jang. I mean, I have to tell that. And then we have a guitar player. Keyong, keyong. These are special thoughts. These are not just, I just find that. You understand? And then we drop the bass line. I never have to tell the drummer to play. Because I'm always a feel me. Feel? Oh, God. Feel of it full. I tell you that. Yeah, man. That's the only man I ever tell you for that. I never have to tell him for that too. Because from here, the bass line, you know exactly what style he needs to play with that. Yeah, man. And that's how that song was made. And the other song, same thing. The other song was less technical. It was just a rhythm. So we just find these two chords, and I told the keyboard player what to play, because it's my thing, you know. And drop a bass line, and that's it.
But the full up though, it was a big hit at Studio One, and then it went on to even more success in the 80s with the Mighty Diamonds, and then it even crossed internationally.
That's what I'm saying. Whenever my bass line, they're so melodical. That's the thing about it, you know. That's why they're so magical. They're melodical, simple and melodical. You know, they're like a nursery rhyme that you can just jump in and follow. Yes, you know, and that's the thing. That's the trick. A lot of people don't realize that they're very simple and melodical. The notes that I choose, that I hear in my head and choose, that's the thing. So when I play, boom, kichu kiching, kung chung boom, anything you sing around that, it falls right in place. You understand? Yeah. So it's a simplicity. As Kalanche would say, simplicity. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, yeah, man, and that's it with all these lines. You know, I did this one for these two Things and Time, right? Things Willing Souls.
Right.
Yeah. Kung kung jing kung kung jing kung kung jing kung kung jing kung king jing kung king jing kung jing 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 ons gayap 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 kung jing kung kung gayap gayap boss. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Oh yeah. You know. But I remember the Ken Boothe, because I don't play a lot of Ken Boothe songs, you know. But the ones that we play, like this special one, man. God, wicked. It will come. Yeah, man, wicked. Ken Boothe. Yeah, man. But we continue, right? We're going to talk. Cornell Campbell, Queen of the Minstrel. You know? Yeah, Jasmine Sullivan.
That was another song that, like we were talking about the full up, that sort of evolved into the musical youth and other people as well. Yeah. The same with the Queen of the Minstrel, with Jasmine Sullivan, I Need You Bad.
Boss Jasmine, but I need you bad. Yeah. First time I heard it, I said, look at that. And this thing made me feel good, you know. Yeah, because you're excelling, you know, get a thing bigger and bigger.
It's being exposed to wider audiences.
Yeah, exactly. That is it. You know? Yeah, man. The Royals and the wicked bass line, I pick up the pieces. Terrible.
I didn't know that you played on that.
What?
No, I never knew that.
Yes. Yeah, man. Even Sweet Talking Sanchez upon that. Yeah, man. 10 to 1.
The Mad Lads.
Yeah, all of them. If you really listen my style, you can know when that's me playing, you know.
Yeah,
man. You know, because I have a certain style, a certain way of approach to the music. You know.
I think looking at the countless hits, I can see why you made so many bass lines, because you were there almost, well, more than full time down at Studio One. But look, I really want to give thanks to you for your time today. You are the king of reggae bass lines.
If I have a bass line a day, I'll sit down there all day, man. If you want to come back another day, we continue. But I love this part of the business, you know.
Yeah.
And the biggest part, after I established the Heptones, this was another establishment. I know it's the biggest establishment. Come and make people eat food.
True.
This part I make people, enough people. It is a part of Leroy Sibbles is a part of every singer. Watch that. Hear this. Hear people who depend on Leroy Sibbles bass lines. You wouldn't believe this.
Wow.
Dennis Brown, Alton Ellis, John Holt, Berry Salmon, Tony Rebel, Coco T, Ken Boothe, Horace Andy, Cornell Campbell, Burning Spear, Mighty Diamonds, Cables, Sugar Minot, Musical Youth, Bob Andy, Marcia Griffiths, Glenn Washington, Freddie McGregor, Sanchez, Morgan Heritage, Sizzler, Capleton, Sly and Robbie, Big Youth, Abyssinians, Wailing Soul, Missy Elliott, Jasmine Sullivan, Ray Darvin. Yeah, man, Admiral Tibbet, Yellow Man, Brigadier Jerry, Johnny Osborne, Josie Wales, Bujo Band. This is just a few.
That list goes on and on.
Continuous.
Continues.
Yeah, me as a king. Yeah, man.
Well, look, we have to give thanks to you for your contribution. It's not a small thing that you've done. It's an immense thing.
And that thing will make people eat food. Every man who sing on Leroy Sibbles' bass line is guaranteed a hit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I tell all young youth too, you know. If you want bus, jump on the Leroy Sibbles bass line bus. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I need to give thanks to Jeannie Sweetness that made the connection for us to talk today as well. So, Jeannie, big up yourself every time.
That's my daughter-in-law, you know. Ex.
Oh, okay.
Yes, man.
Once again, Mr. Sibbles, I give thanks for your time today and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
That's what I can ask for.
Nice to meet you again, too, man.
Reggae interviews. Word sound power.